everyone. I'm Gloria S, Crump, the Queen of Real Estate. Thank you for joining us this week's Tea Crumpets here at the Coastal Leaders Realty Group. And today we have Diane Skelton. She is business development with the Southern Vacation Rentals. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit of history about the company, a little bit of background yourself, because I know you've been doing this for a long time as well.
So when I moved to Gulf Shores back in 2010, I started working for Meyer.
Yeah.
And, they were the big boys here in town for a number of years. So I've been doing this a long time, since 2010.
And I bet it feels like it's gone by fast, too.
So it seems like I've been doing it my whole life.
I love it. Yep. And I love that you're from Michigan.
I am originally from Michigan.
Yeah.
So I'm one of those transplants that
I was
never
just going to
left.
say, you're a snowbird that stayed here for the long haul. So you migrated south and never went back.
That's right.
I love it. And so you've been doing it since 2010. And then Southern Vacation Rentals, even though they're kind of newer to this area, they've actually been in business for a long time as well.
This year is our 30th anniversary.
Wow.
So we've been in business 30 years, mostly in further south, 30A, Navarre, Destin, that area. And then right now we're doing Orange Beach and Perdido Key, also Gulf Shores and Fort Morgan.
Okay, and then you handle the Fort Morgan Gulf Shores side.
Correct.
Yeah.
And my little cohort in crime, she handles the Orange Beach and Perdido Key part.
Well, y'all got your hands full, because I've been actually showing some properties and I've seen Southern Vacation Rentals plaques and things and information in the units. So
great.
Yeah, so I can see y'all are making some,
some headway.
Yes, definitely. Because I was like, when I saw it, I was like, wait a second. So I'm glad to see that. And obviously, y'all do short-term rentals, and so y'all handle houses and condos.
Correct.
Good deal. So why should people choose Southern Vacation Rentals?
So Southern Vacation Rentals is such a huge program, and so many things that they give owners that the other companies do not offer.
Yeah.
So an owner that signs with us, they pay their management fee, but then they get all of the OTAs like Airbnb, Vrbo, and all their offshoots. We do advertising on there for no charge.
Oh, that's great.
And unlike most companies, actually 70% of our reservations come directly through our Southern website, which is very unusual.
Yeah.
That's a high amount. We have a maintenance program that's at no charge, and it covers a bunch of stuff. All of your HVAC filters, your light bulbs, your batteries, those are all covered at no charge, and changing those at no charge, plus many, many other things. We don't charge for your digital lock. We don't charge for your linens. We don't charge for the coverlets. We don't charge for any of that.
That's awesome.
So there's just so much that we throw in that other companies don't. We even include 2 refresh cleans a year that are at no charge. So there's just a lot of stuff that we do.
Well, that is good, and I want to definitely touch on when you said that y'all include that maintenance, the air filter, the light bulbs, because I do know other companies have an extra charge for that for sure, especially the linens and stuff. So just even mentioning those items, that definitely Vacation Rental stands out from that.
It does.
For sure.
So, and we just do a really good job of taking care of the owner's units, making sure that somebody's in there all the time, checking for any damages that might have happened. And on a reservation, they're going to they're going to require that the guests take a damage policy, so that if there are any damages or accidental damages, those will be covered.
Well, that's great, because in that case, it's a lot easier getting the money to fix those items versus having to go after that renter, because once that happens, that's why a lot of times things go missing, things are broken, and the owners don't even know about it because they can't. Let's get real. The renters, once they check out, it's going to be almost impossible, or they're going to try to hide it. So
yeah, and I think that the fact that we're in there all the time and it's the same people in there, they get familiar with the unit. So if a lamp is missing or a picture on the wall is missing, they know that those things are gone. So it's because they're in there all the time.
I think that's great. And then also, how much is the management fee?
So usually it's going to be between 18 and 20%.
And that's normal.
It's normal, but it is going to be based somewhat on gross rental income in the units. Something that's going to do a ton of income, we can, do a little bit less. We're not a nonprofit, so we've got to make a living at it.
Yeah, for sure.
And we do throw, a bunch of stuff in at no charge. So you know, it's a good deal even at that percentage. If
Yeah.
somebody has more than one property, we're going to make them a better deal.
Yeah.
And try and get all of their properties.
Oh yeah, for sure. And one thing I wanted to too, we said that 70% of y'all's renters come through your actual website. To me, I think that's amazing because I feel like those are repeat customers.
They are repeat customers, and you know, it's a better deal for the customer too.
Yeah.
For the guests, because they don't have to pay all the additional fees on some of the OTA websites.
Exactly. So once they book through it, they realize, oh my goodness, we can just go through it. I mean, that's a good sign, because obviously what I see and read the most about complaints from renters are how clean the unit
Absolutely.
is. And if the unit is not clean, they do not want to come back, and they don't want to use that rental company. And then you know, then rental companies are like, well, that's a third party, and it's like, yeah, but you still hired them, so it affects the owner. So that's great that y'all have such repeats and people are going to your website. I think that's a true testimony to how y'all manage the property and how happy those renters are.
And I do think our guest relations team is really good at talking to the guests and making sure that they're putting them somewhere that the guests will be happy. They really try and delve into what the guests are looking for, so that they can make sure they're putting them somewhere where they'll be happy.
I think that's awesome. And then, and as you say, you know, for multiple properties, y'all can offer discounts depending on the properties and things of that nature. So that's wonderful. And one thing we mentioned was y'all actually have someone that's a point of contact for those owners. It's a client success manager.
Right. The client success manager is actually the owner's main point of contact. They've got their cell number. That's who they're going to call if they have any questions. And they just get to know the owners and what their idiosyncrasies are, and you know, so that we can try and make sure that we're taking care of the things that are specific pain points for those owners.
Yeah, I think that's awesome, because you know, there could be multiple things that they need information with, and instead of having to go through the point of contacts of multiple people, they can go straight to that person, call them, like you said, they have their cell phone, which is huge, and then turn around and then that person can handle whatever it is that they need.
And I think this business is really about relationships, and so
I think real
that
estate,
person's
yeah, for sure,
relationship with the owner,
Mm-hmm.
and then again our relationship with our guests. We want them to have a great experience so they come back.
Yeah, for sure. And so what is some advice you can give to owners, you know, to entice the renters to pick their particular unit?
So I think when I talk to guests, there's a couple things that they're specifically looking for. One is they really, in the main bedroom, they want a king size bed. You know,
Oh yeah.
people are just bigger than they used to be.
Yeah.
And, you know, I
And
know.
sometimes like kids want to get in the bed too, you know, so.
So it's really important that that main bedroom at least have a king size bed.
I agree.
Also, the husbands are going to complain if there's a small TV in the living room, especially if it happens to be like Super Bowl weekend, and the wives have dragged them down here, and
Exactly.
and they're watching the Super
Football.
Bowl on 32-inch TV.
Oh yeah.
It's a problem.
Anytime I'm ever showing property, I'm like, y'all need to upgrade the TVs if you buy this unit.
Yes, definitely.
And they're so inexpensive now.
They are. And I think too,
Such a
you
good
know,
investment.
having, especially if it's a house, having some stuff for the guests to take to the beach, chairs of some sort that they can carry down there, because a lot of guests now, especially with the airlines here, are flying in.
Yes.
And they can't bring that stuff. So if they go buy it, then they just got to leave it or throw it away or whatever.
Yes, and even if you have a condo and there's a storage room, you could always leave it in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's great, because plus too, it saves the renters money. They don't have to spend all the time blowing up the stuff and then having to leave it. And so I think that's great. And then another thing you mentioned too, they don't like carpet.
They do not like carpet. It's amazing that they're going to look at the photos, which is really important. Our photos are at no charge too.
Oh.
And so they're really going to look at those photos, and having updated photos of what you really have in the unit is very important, because if they see carpet, most of the time they're moving on to something else.
Yeah, especially with the sand, sand spurs. I mean, just things like that. And plus, it's hard to keep it clean. So.
It is. It's just really hard.
Yeah.
And now the harder floors are so reasonably priced.
Yeah.
You know, you put the vinyl laminate down, it's easy to clean, and it's
It
just
is.
way better with the sand.
No, I definitely think that that is, and you were even talking about, you know, for instance, cookware, pots and pans. don't skimp on the
No,
pots and pans.
I had an owner several years ago that said, well, I bought a new set of pots and pans for my house, so I'm bringing the old ones down to the condo. I said, no. Why would you bring something you don't want to use down for your paying guests to use? Buy them something new. Don't bring your old hand-me-downs down there. This is a vacation, and we want it to be better than their home. It's a lot of money that they've spent and saved up for. We want it to be a great experience, and we want them to be happy and feel that they're in some sort of luxury place.
Yeah,
you know?
and it is expensive to come down here to rent, and just little things like that, just make so much, makes their life a little easier and stuff. And you were even saying about like the beachy decor. Some of them are just kind of wanting to. They
want something that shows that it's
elegant.
That's the word, elegant. They don't want to see wicker. They don't want to see all the, really beachy stuff. They just want something that is elegant.
Yeah,
that's a good,
soothing,
perfect word.
Just relaxing when they come down. So, and one thing I've noticed too, just when I'm looking at places. I love how they might have a wall where like the kids can take pictures. It's kind of like where it says maybe Gulf Shores or Orange Beach. Just something there that, just kind of makes it stand out, like photo ops.
Super great idea.
Yeah, and that's so inexpensive too. And so I just, it's just something for like people and family can take pictures in front of.
And that's something that people will see in your photos and go, oh man, that's really cool. We need to book that one.
Yeah, exactly. And so, no, I've noticed that kind of stands out, and just something simple. And two, if they have a house and they can install a pool, I do know that increases rent revenue.
It does. It probably adds, in my opinion, another $10,000 to their income. Yeah. So, even if it's expensive, it doesn't really take very long to pay for itself between the additional guests, the extra revenue.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people, especially if it's a house, it's hot down here in the summer. They really need that place to cool off.
Yep, and a lot of times, if the is a riptide or the red flags out, they still want to get in the water. So having a pool is, to me, I think is definitely beneficial. And as well as, what else was I going to say? Oh, if they can allow pets, I do know that helps.
Pet friendly is huge. That's probably, in my opinion, another $10,000 in increased revenue, especially in Fort Morgan where that beach is more pet friendly. And that's one of the reasons people go to Fort Morgan, because they can bring their pets in a lot of cases. And even if they're in Gulf Shores, if it's a house, they may not be able to take their pets on the beach, but for many people, especially you, those are your babies.
Oh, yes.
You don't want to go if they're not going.
Exactly. And plus, it's just nice that you don't have to board them and worry about them, and that you can bring them home. And that's the thing, is that until y'all require, the renters to have damage policies.
We do.
So in that case, that pet, more, to me, I feel like sometimes pets take care of the places a little bit better than children. So, in a way, it's...
owners worry about pets, but again, I've been doing this since 2010, and I can only think of one instance where it wasn't the pet's fault, it was the owner's fault, and they locked him in the bedroom, and they, scratched on the door, and we had to replace the door, and they,
the carpet
by the door.
Well, it's a new place, and they were, anxious.
But that was the owner's fault. If I was going to bring a pet to the beach, especially if they're crate trained, I'd bring their crate too, so that because they feel secure and comfortable in there too.
Exactly, I think so. And I even showed a house that had the vacation rentals. Southern Vacation Rentals had it, and they had a pool, and then they also had a side yard, and it was on the beach, but it was for pets, so that they could not have to worry about sand spurs. They put grass and things of that nature. So, just something like that. I was like, wow, that is so smart.
And it is becoming more and more popular to bring your pets. So, unfortunately, there's only a couple condo buildings that allow pets.
Yeah, for renters. Not many.
Not many. My cousin's coming down in January, and so we had to find her a pet-friendly place.
I think Sunsweet's one. Or is it Silver Beach?
Silver Beach.
And then in Gulf Shores, Sea Oaks allow it.
Yeah, she's staying at Silver Beach.
I was about to say, I think there's only two that will allow renters, and I do know those are the two. There might be some more, maybe Navy Cove. But anyway, I think that I know the owners don't necessarily want it, but if the the renters, if they would allow it, their rent revenue would go up in these condominiums.
As a general rule, people that travel with their pets have well-behaved pets.
Yes.
You know, I want to leave mine at home because they are not well-behaved. But, you know, people that really do travel with their pets aren't.
Those pets are cultured.
Yes, and they're their babies. They're, you know, it's just
they yes. Dewey can be a little handful sometimes, but I guess when your 17-year-old dog has its can have its rights of being whatever.
I was gonna say,
he's earned that right. So, well, these are all good information, and I'm so glad that you came and spoke with us. And is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, we would love to talk to you. If you're buying something, if you're unhappy where you currently are, we'd love to talk to you, tell you what we can do for you, and see if we can make it better.
Yeah,
you know,
I think that's amazing. Yeah, and so we'll have your contact information at the end of the video and in the caption, so that way they can give you a call.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.